Hey, how's it going? Jason here, and in this episode I'm going to be working on this Ilex Vomitoria or Yaupon holly I have right here. Alright, so this tree I worked on last year, and that's why I cut it back. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's still in this really ugly pot, and I'm going to take it out of here just because this pot is so ugly. So now I've got all this growth everywhere, and I've got to establish exactly what kind of tree I want to make this. And as you can tell, it is not the biggest tree. It's tall here, but we've got some crazy taper. It's really fat right in the base. See right there? It's really fat right there. And then it gets really narrow up here, which kind of doesn't look very good. So we're going to have to decide what we want to do. If we want to make this a show hen, which I'm leaning toward, or do we want to make this tall and have this kind of really ugly movement in the trunk right here. And so last year when we made these cuts, it was basically nothing. It was just the trunk. So now we've got all this growth everywhere. We've got a ton of growth, and we get to make decisions, which is the best part of the bonsai. So I'm gonna grab my giant branch cutter right here, and this guy right here, and we're gonna make some cuts. Okay, so this tree, I am not a big fan of this straight trunk right here. And in the previous video, I left that there just to show you guys what would happen. You can see the explosion of growth that comes here at the apex. But you can see that with this species of tree, there's still a ton of growth right here, right where the base is. And that's why I like this species so much. It's got these really small leaves that are very tough, but it also buds everywhere. So what we can do is we can take a look in here and see what we can maybe use and create maybe a show hen tree. And a show hen tree would be something that's about 10 inches or less once it's potted. So we're looking at something that's really about this tall. So you can already tell if we're looking for something that's about that tall, half of this tree is going to be gone. So this tree has gone through so much, we're going to put it through even more since it's early spring, and I know it's not going to have any issue. So let's see where to cut it. Oh, I got a pot right here that's on my table. If I could put in this guy right here, it look really nice. Ooh, there's a pretty cool tree right there. All right, so what I'm looking at right there is right around here. If I use that base right around there, I can cut the tree around this height right here, right around there, and use all this growth right in this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that cut because I already know I don't want it this tall. So bye-bye to this guy right here. He's gone. He's gone. Now I've got this one here that's going a little bit too long. I'm not going to cut it back too far. I'm not going to cut it all the way off. I mean, it's lignified, so I can cut back anywhere really. But I know it doesn't need to be too long, so I'm going to cut it back. Now I've got a lot of branches that are going straight up, so I can start to cut some of those that are going up. Because I got this one branch that's basically going to be the one that I'm going to base everything off of, this side branch right here. This one right here, this one right here, I'm going to kind of use this one. I'm going to use these little guys here to fill in this apex, but for right now I'm going to get rid of the ones that are the suckers that are going on the bottom. So these guys, and this branch cutter might be a little bit overkill for some of these. So I'll cut some of those. The sucker ones down there, and I'm not going to use them. So I'm going to start to cut some of these back, because I know that I won't need some of these. The ones going down. Spread those branches out. These ones going down. This one's lignified, so I don't need it that far out. Okay. Got some in here that are going too far out. I'm gonna cut those out. Okay, this one I'm going to let it grow a little bit thicker because I want to wire that down as well. I've got some branches here. I've got some branches here on the back that I'm going to wire them down just a little bit as well so they can start coming out sideways like this. Okay, so you can see that my goal here is basically to get this branch developed right here, this one right here, this one as a secondary, and this one needs to develop on this side because there's nothing going on here. And this one right here is going to come right into this empty area right here. So this one's going to come into this empty area. This guy right here, this little twig right there, it's going to come into this area. This one's going to sit flat down. This one's going to come onto the back. I've got a back branch, and this one's going to come to the side. So I'm really waiting on something over here. Now this is a dead part of the tree. Unfortunately, it's just dead. It's not going to sprout anything, so I could rip that off. There we go. Now eventually I'll top this off a little bit more. This one right there, I'll top that one off a little bit cleaner after I know that these guys are coming out. But now I've got some general direction for this tree to go, and this might actually be this will be actually a pretty nice pot. So right now all I'm doing is cutting some of these top growing branches. They're basically sucking energy from where I want them to go, because it just grows so strong that you got a lot of stuff. The one's going down, straight down. This one's right in the pocket right here, so I'm gonna cut that one. So that particular branch was right in the curve, right in here, right in there. So I wanted to see that curve, so I got rid of it. Now it looks a lot lighter. So now I can focus on developing the remaining branches I have, which you really don't need that many. So don't worry about cutting too much because there's a lot to work with. So I can start to create this pad here. Okay, and the Ilex is just so, it just grows so fast. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna grab a couple pieces of wire, and then we're going to start to have some type of general direction for this tree. I'm really just applying a few pieces here. So that was just one piece of wire that takes care of two major branches. Support it at its break point, which is basically right where it shoots off of the trunk. Okay, branches that are going down, go ahead and cut those, including the ones that are going straight up. If it's lignified, go ahead and cut it back. Okay, good. So if I go back to here and I take a look, I'll spin this around for you. You can see that there's a little bit more of a general structure now. I've got the base here. I decided I didn't need any of that top part. Okay, this entire top part I decided I didn't need now, because if I do this, I'm not going to have a show hand, so I had to get rid of that. I've chosen the branches I want to keep. I got here, I've got my first branch. I can call this my second branch. I got two back branches I can use right here. And then really I'm just waiting to develop the rest of this all inside here, which will develop because I've already got this guy, this guy, this guy, and a couple of these guys over here. Got two over here. And then what's going to happen later is that this is going to get clipped back so we can hide that cut. This part died back, so I just, had to remove it, so I removed it. I might get some coming out the side here, but really, if these ones come out where I want them to, that's more than enough. I don't even need these ones to come out. So I know it looks a little bit funny because it's just, you got this longer branch here that's not proportional to this side, but this one, this side here, I'm letting it grow out just to thicken up a little bit. Not as thick as this one, but just thicker than it is now, so that that jump from this branch to this one isn't so drastic. I'll let this one come out a little bit longer, and then I'll cut it back. And then this guy, maybe I'll pull him down with some guy wire. So what I did was I brought this one branch down with some guy wire, and it has barely any pressure on it, so it's not really going to be an issue in terms of keeping it in that spot. So I put this tiny little wire on it, and it's holding it right there. And I've got this one that I'm going to let it grow, and I'm going to cut it back later, and I'm going to develop these guys right here to fill in all this empty space right here, and that's pretty much it. After that, I've got basically my show hen tree, and I can put it into a little pot like this, and that's going to look really cool. I know it doesn't look like too much right now, just because it's so sparse right here, but I know that's going to come out in the next few months, so I'm not concerned about that at all. But I'm really looking forward to finally potting this tree, because what is it that we made that cut last year, those heavy cuts, and now we're doing some branch selection with the new growth that we're getting, and then we can start to ramify these branches a little bit, or just put them into the slots there, into those empty spots. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video on this Ilex Vomitoria or Yaupon holly. I'm really looking forward to seeing the development over the summer, and then we're going to see where we are in the fall. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.